Hello, welcome to Historical Trash Box, where we talk about history in the trashiest way. I am partnered here with Phoenix and Rat King. You can refer to me as Dedrick. Anyway, Rat King, actually our topic today is World War II, forgot to say that. Anyway, Rat King, would you like us to start us off with some general info?
Yes, I would. Thank you. So basically, World War II lasted from 1939 to 1945, and this war was horrible. Horrible. About 70 to 85 million people was killed according to the Wikipedia page that I read, because, let's use the one site teachers tell us not to use, rebellion. Anyway, many people think it started on September 1st, 1939, when the invasion of Poland by Germany happened. Damn, guys. We should all just pour a cup of coffee in here now.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give a little bit of background to some events that led to the start of World War II. So in the roughly 1933, I'm not going to get into detail with this, but in 1933, Hitler rose to major power by becoming Chancellor of Germany in 1933. He was the leader of the Nazi Party, and he had been for a good while because he was considered to be a very excellent speaker. Anyway, in 1933 he became chancellor, and the year before that he ran for president of Germany, and he lost to the very famous World War I general named von Hindenburg. Anyway, one of Hindenburg's associates was told by Hitler that he wanted to be chancellor. Then he told Hindenburg that okay, you make Hitler chancellor and you make me vice chancellor. That way we get to keep our power. Boy, he was wrong by that. After von Hindenburg died in 1933, Hitler, rose to power and became the dictator of Germany. Anyway, so you guys wanna explain your opinion on that?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Hitler, man, that's... Wrote him off. That's a bit sus. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he was
Really,
he rose to power in a very quickly.
I like to make friends a lot, but if one of these days I see one of my friends become... what?
He comes
this giant dictator.
Yeah, becomes the dictator of Germany. That's that's pretty bad.
I do not wish to be friends with a dictator.
Anyway, moving on. Another major dictator during this time was Benito Mussolini. I probably just butchered that name, but anyway, he had been a socialist writer for a while, and he's like, hey, the idea of fascism is Benito Mussolini thought the idea of fascism was a great idea, and he got a lot of other people in Italy also thought that was a great idea. So they went to the prime minister of no, not the prime minister, the king of Italy, and he told him, and this is a rough translation, but he told him that, hey, you make me prime minister, or I'll make me prime minister. The king said, you in what army? This army, with roughly 1,000 people behind him. It's like, okay, you win. And just like that, Benito Mussolini built a dictatorship with him at his core. Anyway, Phoenix, would you... It's chill. Rat King will come back with us, but Phoenix, would you like to explain your opinion on that?
I would, but obviously you did. You basically explained it very well. He basically just said, hey, make me king or else,
Yeah, make me prime minister or I'll make me prime minister.
Yeah. Which is obviously...
That's a good way, and when you got a couple thousand people behind you supporting you, that's... Yeah, that's one way.
It's going to be like, hey, so originally I thought you didn't have an army. I was like, oh, okay, you're going to lose. but then he shows you the army, and then you regret it. So, yeah, you explained it essentially perfectly.
Okay, so moving on to the third major Axis power at this time, we have good old Japan. They had been doing their own thing with war with the Chinese, and the Chinese had a civil war going on with them. Years before that, Japan had invaded Korea, which, well, kind of angered good old China, but nonetheless, it was quite interesting. They didn't really attack them all that much, and they took a good portion of eastern China. Anyway, good old Hitler decided in 1939, we're getting to the point where we're actually getting into World War II. I don't know a lot about the Japanese, so we're just going to jump into what really started this war. So Germany and Italy signed a pact to get them closer diplomatically, so that kind of worried the Allies, which the Allies are France, the UK, and the Soviet Union. Well, partially Soviet Union. We'll get back to them soon. But Germany, well, Nazi Germany decided, hey, I'm gonna annex good old Austria, and Austria was like, go right for it, because there were a lot of ethnic Germans living in Austria, and they considered them to be German. So, with little retaliation, Austria just became Germany. And another part that kind of worried the Allies was when he asked them to be given the Sudetenland. And one weird thing about this is that Czechoslovakia was not allowed to be at the meeting where Germany and all the other allies were said, hey, we want the Sudetenland. That just seemed unfair to me. But anyway, they decided to give them the Sudetenland and made Hitler sign a paper saying that they wouldn't invade the rest of Czechoslovakia. And you know what they did? They invaded the rest of Czechoslovakia. So the Prime Minister of good old UK was kinda, oh, I done screwed up. So he decided to resign, and your boy Winston Churchill decided to take him in his place. Alright, well, would you guys like to explain your opinion about that? Like what I just said.
Wow, I don't.
Just like what Hitler did and how the Allies dealt with it. That was just kind of, they dealt with it badly, but
Bonkers.
Yeah.
That was not
Man can't be trusted.
Yeah, he can't be trusted, and as our next segment that I'm going to be talking about is well, let's just say we're going to get into the bad times right now. Anyway.
Oh no! I thought we were already in the bad times.
What bad times are you talking about? Because depending on the topic, I may be able to take over.
Oh, you want to take over? We're going to jump in on Germany signing a pact with the Soviet Union to joint invade Poland.
Oh, that's not my expertise.
That's not my expertise.
Okay, I'll continue with this, and we will.
Hitler equals bad mustache man. Why haven't I read your comment earlier? Why?
Rat
Now,
King.
if you're watching this, do not get a mustache. I beg of you, please do not get a mustache.
All right. Well,
Rat King said that you had to feed your fish. Free food.
Okay, so I'm gonna. You guys are funny. So I'm gonna continue talking about Germany and the USSR's joint invasion. So, good old Hitler decided to send a message to Joseph Stalin, the leader of the USSR, saying, "Hey, you want to invade Poland with me? And if you invade Poland with me, we will not attack each other. Wink, wink." And he was like, sure. And so on September 1st of 1939, Germany's invasion of Poland led France and the UK to declare war on Germany. And just like that, World War II was started. You guys want to say your opinion on that?
Wow. Wink, wink.
Yeah, wink, wink. That'll come up later in our part 2 of this series.
Wink. Every time I say something sarcastic
Phoenix.
now, I'm just gonna go wink, wink at the end of it.
Phoenix,
I'm still here.
you gonna say your
Are
opinion?
you though?
Yes, I am. I'm just listening to you
Half of
guys.
this podcast is us talking about history, and half of us is just bickering, like fighting.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It kind of does describe what is on water break.
We have hit the 10-minute mark.
Yes, we have.
Also, for people watching, we are going to be trying to split this up into sections.
Because we're not necessarily going to
I can't sit in a chair for more than 40 minutes without moving at least once.
Yeah, we're gonna split this into 20 to 30-minute parts, and we're gonna
It's
end.
gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And next weekend,
It is fun right now. Actually.
yeah, it is fun. It is fun right now. We are joking around and talking about history. That's what this whole channel is about.
Talking about bad men with mustaches, Germany,
And a man that has a big old lip, Mussolini. He just goes, mm.
It's joke time for me. Oh, yay.
Oh no.
Oh, God. What do you want to say?
Sometimes you make the most horrible jokes.
Yeah, I know, but this one, it's more of on the family-friendly
Oh, God, okay, I'm just gonna mute them.
Let's talk about how we were set up to fail. We literally had guns that, told us when we were reloading, just the...
Yeah, the Allies did have that, like, all of a sudden when they just go ching, like... Anyway, I'm gonna continue on this. So, Poland put up minor force. They tried, they battled for like a couple months, but they were no match to the USSR Germany joint invasion. Anyway, Germany next pointed their forces west. So what they decided to do was try and invade Luxembourg, Belgium, and Netherlands. They were neutral countries. They were not necessarily fighting. And so, the Germans knew that the French had learned from the previous war to actually defend themselves. But as the French didn't really move on from World War One, they still used horses, they still delivered messages via motorbike and pigeons, and they really didn't move on, so it was kind of easy to invade them with. I mean, there had been 30 years of progress in military. I think they should have moved on, but they barely did. Anyway, so the Germans used a method called blitzkrieg, which means that they sent thousands upon thousands of refugees into French, Belgian, Netherlands lines. And it really slowed down the forces because they're like, where are these people coming from? And so they would mix soldiers in between the refugees, and that kind of got the French and UK confused. So Germany took Belgium and Netherlands with very little struggle, and so it kind of locked down, like the fighting kind of locked down, and there was no real moment for movement. But the French kind of messed up. They had mobilized millions, but they left this area called, I think it was called the Ardennes, and the French described it as naturally impenetrable. Well, the Germans were about to penetrate with all they got. So they sent roughly like 60,000 soldiers through there, and they encircled French and UK troops. And the encirclement caused most of the French's best soldiers to just perish. And UK and French soldiers managed to get off at Dunkirk, and some civilians from the UK decided to make the perilous trip to bring their young men home, which I find very amazing. You guys want to voice your opinion on that?
Oh, heck yeah. Yes, I do.
All right, what would you like to say?
I think, G. I can't even get out of bed properly. Like, I will fall, hit my head, and then get up and go. And you know what these people did?
They got on their boats, they went across the English Channel, and brought them young men home. That round of applause for those men and women that did that.
That was great. Clap. That was great.
So yeah, it was.
Tried clapping, but my mic just didn't pick it up.
It doesn't sound like it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sounds like you're staring at the screen.
Okay, that counts as clapping.
That does.
So yeah, on water break. I am parched from that talking.
I love their commitment, though, how they stuck to just using pigeons and motorbikes. They didn't want to, try and find a new way of, sending messages. Nope. Stuck to motorbikes and pigeons.
Le pigeon.
Le pigeon.
But yeah, so it was. So yeah, the French fell after only a couple months. We're just touching into 1940. After just a couple months, the French fell. What the Germans couldn't do in World War One, Hitler had just done in a couple months. Because in World War One, they were stuck on like the Belgian borders. Like it didn't exceed all that much. It was mostly Eastern and Balkan fighting that really moved. But yeah, it was interesting. So, well, we gotta talk about Italy. Italy owned Libya, or they had occupied Libya, because at this time Africa didn't have their own countries. They were occupied by Europe and Asian. So Italy at this point had Libya, and they had that since 1912. So they decided. So they were thinking, why is a very underdeveloped area they're so underdeveloped they would literally be attacking our tanks with bows and arrows. And it's like, oh, there is a place. It's called Ethiopia. So they took it. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap this up slightly.
Yeah, if you want, I can finish us off when we have like 1 minute left, and I'll just do like closing words.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be what we do. Okay, so yeah, Italy just took very small areas that were very underdeveloped and really couldn't fight against them. Seriously, Ethiopia just got curb stomped, and it was pretty bad. Anyway, moving on to Japan. Japan had been doing their own thing for like 11 or so years, attacking China and Korea. And they finally decided, and Germany was like, hey, you mind taking out China because they're with the Allies? And like, I damn got you, man. So that's what they did. They moved on, taking major cities in China. They were ruthless. They weren't just killing military; they were killing civilians on purpose, and it was absolutely horrendous.
R.I.P. civilians.
Yeah, but 3 seconds of silence for the civilians. Okay, because we can't.
That wasn't even one.
That was well, whatever.
So disrespectful.
That was not 3 seconds.
Okay, 3 seconds. All right, that was 3 seconds. Dear God. So yeah.
Hit the minute mark.
Yeah, so Japan basically started attacking all Southeast Asian. They were very underdeveloped and they really couldn't defend themselves. So they took Vietnam, they took all those areas, and it was just ruthless. And well, there's another part of Germany that I'm just gonna give a brief explanation. So the Allies were kind of mad that Norway was giving Germany ore, like iron ore. So they said, hey, can you stop that? It's like, nah. So they decided to set some mines around the ports of Norway, and Germany didn't like that. So they just decided to invade Norway and Sweden and all them places. So yeah, just glossing over that. And what the USSR has been doing, they took the Baltic states, which are Lithuania, Estonia, and one other country. I can't remember the name of it. And they also took a bit of northern Romania.
Can't remember that.
Shush.
Okay.
And they also they got into war.
Hit the last minute mark, but if you would like to go over,
Yeah, I'm just gonna finish up real quick talking about what the USSR has been doing. So they fought against Finland, and this should have been an easy victory. Finland, at first, they don't look all that tough. They ended up pushing the Soviets back. Yeah. Anyway, so that's going to be end of part 1 of World War II.
You want me to end it off?
Yeah. Yeah, you can say the closing words, please.
Alright. Well, thank you everyone for watching. If you're new, obviously, or everyone is technically new because, first video. But if you want, you don't have to. Just subscribe, like the video. You can always unsub later. Thank you, Deadrack and Rat King for joining this meet and allowing us to do this. Thank you, Deadrack, for setting this all up and making this possible.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. It must have been really, really hard.
I put a lot of effort into this channel.
Also, real quick, can I say something?
Yes, what would you like to say?
Dad, you better share this with your friends, because I know you're watching this, because I'm history with.
Yeah, any family members, please share this, because it will help us.
If your family members are very interested in history, and
you words to my lovely father. Thank you.
It's not. If your family isn't interested in fully just based facts about history, but they also care about some personal opinions, feel free to tell them about this channel. We are trying to slowly grow.
Yeah, we honestly, we are not planning to get famous off of this. This is supposed to be something fun for us. We all love history, and
history is the only subject I paid attention to last
well, that's because we had a great teacher.
Yeah.
Anyway, that will be ending of part 1. We will do part 2 on Saturday or Sunday of next weekend. See you all later.